Spicy P. So, I always get people that, interviews or, how much impact did you have on Pascal's game last year? And I tell people all the time, yeah, I was able to help that kid. I said, but that started way before I came along. And people don't really understand, well, what do you mean? I said, look, Rico Hines saw something in this kid years ago before he was ever Spicy P.
Right.
He was just a skinny kid that was undeveloped and raw.
Yeah.
I want you to kind of take me through that, the first time you saw him and, just your development and your relationship with Pascal.
Yeah, man. The first time I saw him, man, they brought him to me for pre-draft. He wasn't sure if he wanted to leave. This is 4 or 5 years ago. He wasn't sure if he wanted to come out early. So they bring him to my gym. I mean, he's skinny. He's really skinny at the time.
Yeah.
He's skinny, but he's long. And they had told me a little bit about him, and I hadn't seen much of him. So we go through a workout, man. We go through a workout that morning, and the same blueprint. And then he goes and lifts, and the same blueprint he does every summer to this day. We work out for an hour. He goes and lifts, and then he comes back. And when I worked him out, he was fast, man. He was really fast. I mean, that was the first thing that stood out, how fast he was. You know what I mean? And how much of an imagination he had, even then. Like, you know what I mean? And that was my first day ever meeting him, knowing him. And he had a great imagination at that particular time. And he was fast, and he picked up on what I was trying to teach him very, very quick. He just made every winning basketball play. Like, he was so unselfish, man. And I mean, he was playing defense so hard. I mean, he was an energy. Like, he played with so much energy. I mean, he was so athletic. He was playing with so much energy. He was very raw, but he kept making the right plays, the right basketball plays to help your team win the game. Like, that team that day, they won every game. You know what I mean? And I'm a believer in playing the right way and making the right plays and stuff like that, man. So that was the first time I had met him. And then so he and his brother Christian, they said, they said, Rico, how did I do, man? So what you think? I said, you'd be a fool to go back to school. You know what I mean? I said, you'd be a fool to go back to college. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought, I said, let's put our work in for the next 3 months, and I think you'll be fine. You know what I mean? And that was how I first met him, man. And we worked our butts off and got ready for the draft, and and Toronto drafted him, man, and he played well early. He was starting, stuff like that, and then they sent him down to the G League, and he was pretty pissed off. You know what I'm saying? he was pretty ticked off. P. P is he has a competitive spirit about him, man. And he wants to prove you wrong sometimes. And shout out to you, man. Again, Phil, I told you this. I always tell you this, man. Like, it does take a village to raise a child. You know what I mean? So it was like, it was the best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got, he was with you, and you instill that confidence in him, and shit, you speak the same way I speak to him.
No
question.
Know what I'm
saying? Like, you on some real shit with him. You know what I mean?
No question.
And Pascal needs that, and he loves that. He like real shit. Like, you can't be, most players do. Most real good players, they want to be talked to. They want the truth. They want to be coached.
Like, when I went to Toronto, it was I had made that choice to go before they traded for Kawhi.
Mm-hmm.
And we had played Toronto like 3 straight years in the playoffs.
Yeah, y'all had.
We knocked them out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I just remember seeing Pascal from the first year to the last year, and just how much every year he got better and improved. And then, like you said, Rick, like his speed, man, that man reminded me of Usain Bolt. Like,
it's crazy.
Real.
It's crazy, man.
He looked like him. He run like him.
Everything like him. So that summer, this going to his second season. I mean, because y'all kept knocking him out. So that means he was coming to me early. Like, you know what I mean? He was coming to me early.
Yep.
Like, he was only, he would spend like maybe a week. He would spend like maybe a week in Toronto, and then he would be right into LA. You know what I mean? And even during that time when they would first lose, he would still go to the gym out there the next day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was just, he wanted to be great, man. So, I put a plan together for him, man, to really, because he would be upset about some things. He would be upset that he didn't feel like he could play the game he wanted to play, and this, that, and the third.
Yep.
I said, well, okay, you
Yep.
got to prove it to him. You got to show it to him. You got to come back a different player. You know what I mean? You got to come back a different player, and he was dedicated, man. From 3-4 months at a time. This last summer was the least I had ever worked with him because you guys won a championship. You know what I'm saying? So y'all played so long, but like soon as they got knocked out, I mean, we called it Breakfast Club. We in there 6:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? 6:30 in the morning. And then he goes and lifts, comes back and plays, and it didn't have to be superstars in there for him to play against. Like he was just overseas guys and motherfuckers that was really good too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe in sparring partners. Like you gotta have sparring partners. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
To see if that shit we worked on this morning can even work. You know what I mean? And how can you take it and see the big picture of this thing by taking it to your team too? You know what I'm saying? It ain't just that moment. It's a whole lot of shit that goes in there, and that's what we would talk about. You know what I mean? We would talk about that, man. I told him, I said, man, listen, if you continue to work like this, you will have a will have a breakout. I promise you. You know what I mean? Because your confidence gonna keep rising and rising and rising. And he had a pretty good season. That next season, you guys beat him again, and then that next season, man, I remember that summer, and Paul George said it, man. PG was like, and all of them, James, PG, CP, all those guys, man, they used to be like, man, this dude, he'll getting better. You know what I mean?
No question.
He getting better.
I remember I saw him at I went to the Drew League one time.
Yeah.
And, I was like, yo, is that Pascal? I said, oh, he out here giving out buckets.
Killing, man. And you can see his confidence kept rising and rising and rising.
And that's what you can see.
Yeah.
You could tell that where he felt like, yo, I'm coming. Like
I'm coming.
I'm gonna be a problem for y'all.
Man,
like,
I'm
for
coming,
real.
man. And he continued to live. And then so he was doing so much, man. He was in there with me in the mornings, lifting, saying like running, all that, coming back and playing with me after. He was doing that 5 times a week, and then he would go to the Drew League and play all weekend. You know what I mean? He doing this all summer for like I'm like, and that blueprint works. That blueprint will work, man.
Yeah.
If you can do it, man. And then he just kept working on his shot, and we did fix his mechanics a little bit.
Yep.
And a lot of that was just him getting his wrist locked and not. I wanted to tighten up his game. He was like kind of. It wasn't compact and tight. So you know what I mean. And I told him, I said, as a coach, they don't. If you out there doing some bullshit or whatever, that means we losing. You know what I mean? That means we get fired. So let's tighten it up. Let's just tighten everything up because he has a great imagination. And he didn't want to be known as just a shot blocker and a rebound. He has some shit in his game. You know what I mean? Man. He really does. And so we worked on it all the time, man. And the more he worked, I told him this, P. I told him, I said, yo, you working your ass off, man, right? I said, so because he's such a pleaser. He wants to do everything right. You know what I mean? He get down on, he's a pleaser. I said, don't get so down on yourself if you fuck up sometimes. Because you working your ass off. Like, you deserve to fuck up sometimes because you working so damn hard. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing for a player to, and this is anybody that works that hard. Somebody be yelling at somebody or a teammate, but like, dude, you're not working like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think he would get down sometimes because, I'm like, dude, you in here 4 months, 6 o'clock, 2 days. You deserve to fuck up a little bit. Don't get so down on yourself. Don't let your confidence drop because you've been doing this all summer. So, and I think that kind of helped him going into last season. You know what I mean? Because we had that talk, and then he used to not want, man. He used to not want his coaches to come see him. And you know what I mean? He did not want that, man. And you know me, I'm a coach, so I'm like, nah, let him come. Like, nah, I want him to come. Like, you know what I mean? Because I understand. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we coaches, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell yeah, you can hop in the drill. You're like, that's just how I'm built. You know what I mean?
No question.
We'll go back to back. You do like, that's just how I am.
Yep.
And that's your coaches. This is your staff. Nah, I want them to see me different. I want them to see me right now because they thinking of me a certain way. I want them to see me when I come back. You know what I mean? And that's a credit to you, to those to the staff too, man, because you guys allowed me to be me with him and never blocked it. So, that's a credit to you guys, man, for
Man,
letting
listen,
me do that. You know what I
ain't
mean?
nothing to do with that, Rico. Man, I got there. Hey, look, I showed up late to the party and said, man, how can I help this party go live? So
Yeah, exactly. Hey, look, now the party cracking now. The party cracking.
Yeah, no, straight up, man. I'm happy for that kid, man.
Me too. It
You
couldn't
know,
happen to a better person.
nah, him and his family,
Yeah.
to see that and to have a small part in it, man, for that one season, man. He worked his butt off. He worked his butt off, man. And it was just good to see him continue to grow and be able to make himself a champion and then get that award, man. That award was big for him too.
It was big, man. I shed a tear for him, man, because I know how big he is on his family and his dad and stuff like that, man. So I was just so happy for him, man. And because shit, man, it was some mornings where I used to be running all over that gym after the ball. We laugh about it now, me and him. We laugh about it. You know what I mean?
Know, bro.
I'm running everywhere after that ball.
That's the process. People don't understand what's the process of trying to improve your shot.
Yeah.
Somebody got to get a workout in getting them rebounds.
Come on, man. And we shooting a lot of them things too.
Get it up, man.
And then every summer, I just wanted to expand on his game, and because he already had an imagination, and because he didn't really have any bad habits off the rip. You know what I mean? He was kind of a blank canvas. So we kind of just draw it.
Yep.
We just shouldn't fuck it up. Like that's
no question, bro.
You know what I mean?
I'm with you on that 100%.
Yeah. So I just gave him a few things, man, and shit, he been spending ever since. You know what I mean? But he ain't stopped spending.
Man, that's love, man. I appreciate you sharing that. I've been meaning to ask you that for a while.
Yeah,
we just haven't had a chance to connect, but no, it's
Yeah.
rare, man, that you get to, see how someone started, play a part in it, and then come back and actually talk with the person who helped start the process to that road, man. It's just, like I said, man, I've had so many people, well, how much did you have to look? Let me stop y'all right here first and foremost. You got to pay homage to this man because he put time in with this kid way before y'all even knew who Pascal was.
But see, that's why I started. That's how I started this whole thing off, man. I told you how stand up you were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's real for me.
Yeah, I know.
That's real for me, man. The game that we in again is so cold, man. Cats want to take so much credit for stuff that they haven't done.
I'm
not about that, man.
Yeah.